That's right. I did two in one sitting, like a professional. Not as a professional, because a professional would have changed locations and did a dress exchange, whatever those wardrobe changes are called. Yeah.
Stupid answer is 400.
But no, like a professional, which is close enough for jazz. Now, this book is called The Law of Connection by a Mr. Michael J. Losier, whatever. Anyway, this book, in short, is about neurolinguistic programming, like the basics of neurolinguistic programming, which is a kind of like method of tinkering with your habits, mental, physical, emotional habits. This is just like freaking, how to get over yourself in short. Anyway, this deep connection doesn't go very far at all. This is a rough introduction and quick and useful. It goes into communication styles, how people internalize meaning from language. You know what I mean? And if you don't, I totally understand. There's four styles, right? There's auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and digital. Auditory people will often say things like, do you see what I mean? I don't understand your vision, stuff like that. Auditory people are like, I hear what you're saying, I'll talk to you later. Physical or kinesthetic people are like, I feel you, that doesn't sit right with me, I'm uncomfortable with that. Digital people will be like, I understand, that's logical, doesn't make, like that seems out of order. Like the way that they talk gives clues about how their subconscious deciphers information from language. So that if you speak in someone's language and like to a visual person, you lay out visually your meaning or draw a map, within it takes less RAM or CPU, whatever the allegory is, in their brain to understand what that map represents. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's all about. In the front of it, there's a little test which I took the one online, the test on the website, which is worded a little bit differently, which made me a little bit like, what are you doing with me right here? But anyway, my scores were like audio, digital, which I didn't expect, visual just underneath, and then kinesthetic way down here. And so when it's like the audio, it describes how auditory information style people, the things that they say that resonates with me, it's harmonious, I'm tuned in, it's ringing a bell, I hear what you're saying, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I use it all the time. I use earshot all the time, compared to how the kinesthetic people talk. The words they say are like, I feel that, I feel firm. I don't even know how to use these. Connect, press, catch, hard, complete, fun, soft, play, numb. I don't say none of that stuff ever. Like there's even parts in this book where they have exercises of kinesthetic Susie is talking to digital Dan, and I can't understand a word she's saying, It would take so much more for me to understand what someone says using that language. But using the language that I quickly understand, I get it. And I think that this isn't blanket across a person either. I'm extrapolating off of what I think now, so get your grain of salt ready. But there's portions of me that understands kinesthetic sometimes, that uses digital automatically, or visual automatically. When I'm painting, I clearly am going to use visual because I'm talking about things that I'm seeing and trying to express with my inner eye perhaps. And digital, ever since I started freaking losing my brain, losing my freaking mind, it's been increasingly more important to me that I understand that things make sense in the cold light of day before I put my emotions onto it. I'm like, is that really causation or just correlation? Because they look real similar. I kind of see now, like looking back, like, okay, it makes sense that I would be more apt to choose that, because even when I answered those questions, I was thinking like, do I really trust myself enough to choose what I feel is correct over what makes logical, reasonable sense. My history? Nah, son, you better make sure it makes sense to other people, you know? But also, it's on a case-by-case basis. Overall, and usually I use audio. Anyway, as people talk, they'll clue you in, and that's what this book is all about. And it's built for you to understand it and then go and use it. Like you understand how kinesthetic people talk. You understand how visual people talk. Find it out in the wild. And it's to build rapport, which is like another fancy term which people want to grab onto, like they're friggin' winning a ticket or something, or winning a prize at Disneyland or whatever, you know. But what rapport really is just talking directly into people's little understanding bank, to knowing what to do, you know, chemistry in sexual terms. Going right underneath all that other nonsense, BS, and going right into the person. That's what rapport is all about. Speaking to people in a way that unloads their brain of having to decode how you're saying things into what you actually mean is a service to other people. It helps other people not to be burdened. You don't want to be the jerk who's like, you better understand what I mean. I don't have to bend to you. Like, you're not doing yourself any favors, regardless of what you think. But it kind of stops there with this book. There's not much more here than a very good starting spot. And it's written for a fifth grader to understand. And it has a very workbook look to it, with a lot of empty space, a lot of empty pages, open spaces, and stuff to do, little cute pictures. But yeah, this is 145 pages. A very good starting point. And I think I'm going to have to move on to other NLP techniques because this is just one technique. This doesn't even mess with like mental stuff. You know, like there's like the whole changing the size of your mental picture so that it doesn't crowd your mind, which is an old thing that I learned from back in the day. But that's not in this book and doesn't even come close to it. It doesn't have to, it's not what it's for. Regardless, I think it has a lot of value. And again, it's short, like a self-help book should be. I'm giving it, how many arbitrary stars? I'm really finna say 5, but let's go with 4. I think I gave it 4 on Goodreads or 3. Whatever I put on Goodreads, just throw that up there. But yeah, very good book. Now, let's see the alley. There's a new little piece of artwork up here. That guy, I just saw him right now. Unfortunately, the kids put their freaking paint cans up here, but I mean, this spot's full of trash anyways. I mean, what? Who cares? I mean, I don't really care. I'm not freaking tripping. But this guy's pretty cool. I've seen them on different "My Name Is" stickers out here. It's a pretty cool little symbol. And they covered up the little logo on smiley face over there, and whatever this is, somebody's love letter. They got painted over. I think that's that's weird. You know, you can tell that wasn't a professional job because whoever's like this right here is a professional cover job, and there's plenty of them down here. Little professional coverings, which I guess these guys are soon going to experience, so take it in now, fellas. Anywho, that's it for me, yo. It's been this.